The Battle of Chaldiran, fought in 1514, stands as a significant event in the history of the Near East, marking a pivotal moment in the struggle for dominance between the Ottoman Empire and the Safavid Empire. This decisive confrontation, which took place near the town of Chaldiran in eastern Anatolia, not only shaped the geopolitical landscape of the region but also had far-reaching implications for the balance of power in the broader Islamic world. This video explores the historical context, the unfolding of the battle, its consequences, and its enduring legacy. The early 16th century was a period of profound upheaval and transformation in the Near East. The Ottoman Empire, under the leadership of Sultan Selim I, had embarked on a relentless campaign of expansion, seeking to extend its dominion over vast territories stretching from Anatolia to the Balkans and beyond. Meanwhile, the Safavid Empire, led by Shah Ismail I, had emerged as a formidable rival, uniting Persia under a banner of Shia Islam and challenging Ottoman supremacy in the region. The origins of the conflict between the Ottomans and the Safavids can be traced back to religious and sectarian differences, as well as territorial disputes over contested borderlands. The Safavid Empire, which had adopted Twelver Shia Islam as its state religion, viewed the Sunni Ottomans as heretics and infidels, while the Ottomans, staunch defenders of Sunni orthodoxy, saw the Safavids as a threat to their religious and political authority. The stage for the Battle of Chaldiran was set amidst this backdrop of simmering tensions and mutual animosity. In the summer of 1514, Sultan Selim I launched a massive military campaign against the Safavids, determined to crush their power and assert Ottoman dominance in the region. With an army numbering in the tens of thousands, Selim marched eastward into Persian territory, his sights set on the Safavid heartland. On August 23, 1514, the two armies met on the plains near Chaldiran, a strategic crossroads in eastern Anatolia. The Safavid forces, led by Shah Ismail I himself, were vastly outnumbered by the Ottoman juggernaut, yet they remained undaunted in the face of overwhelming odds. Arrayed in colorful silk banners and armed with matchlock muskets and heavy cavalry, the Safavids prepared to defend their homeland against the invading Ottoman horde. As the sun rose over the plains of Chaldiran, casting a golden hue upon the battlefield, the air crackled with anticipation and tension. The clash of arms, like a symphony of war, reverberated across the landscape, punctuated by the thunderous roar of artillery and the rhythmic beat of marching feet. Clouds of dust billowed up from the ground as the opposing forces advanced towards each other, their banners fluttering defiantly in the breeze. The Ottoman army, vast and formidable, moved with precision and purpose as it surged forward to meet the Safavid lines. Led by Sultan Selim I himself, the Ottomans advanced in disciplined formations, their ranks bristling with spears, swords, and muskets. With each step, they closed the distance between themselves and their adversaries, their hearts filled with the fervor of conquest and the promise of glory. The Safavid defenders, though outnumbered and outmatched, stood firm in the face of the Ottoman onslaught. Inspired by the charismatic presence of Shah Ismail I, they fought with a ferocity born of religious zeal and national pride. The Shah, resplendent in his armor and regal attire, rode at the forefront of his army, his very presence serving as a rallying point for his troops. As the two armies clashed, the battlefield became a swirling maelstrom of chaos and carnage. Ottoman infantry surged forward with a deafening roar, their war cries mingling with the clash of steel as they sought to break through the Safavid lines. Yet, the Safavid defenders, bolstered by their unwavering faith and indomitable spirit, held the ground with tenacity and resolve. Amidst the din of battle, the Safavid cavalry emerged as a force to be reckoned with. Mounted upon swift and agile steeds, they launched lightning-fast counterattacks against the flanks of the Ottoman army, striking with deadly precision and wreaking havoc upon their foes. With every thunderous charge, they inflicted heavy casualties upon the enemy ranks, sowing confusion and disorder in their midst. The ebb and flow of battle seemed to hang in the balance as the combatants clashed in a desperate struggle for supremacy. Ottoman and Safavid warriors locked in mortal combat, their swords flashing in the sunlight as they fought tooth and nail for control of the battlefield. Blood flowed freely upon the ground, mingling with the dust and sweat of battle as the fate of empires hung in the balance. As the hours stretched into an eternity, the Battle of Chaldiran evolved into a relentless test of endurance and valor, with neither the Ottomans nor the Safavids willing to yield even an inch of ground. The once pristine plains of Chaldiran were transformed into a hellish landscape of chaos and destruction, as the combatants clashed in a desperate struggle for supremacy. The clash of arms reverberated across the battlefield, a cacophony of steel meeting steel, interspersed with the thunderous roar of cannon fire and the cries of the wounded and dying. Ottoman and Safavid soldiers fought with a ferocity born of desperation, each determined to emerge victorious at any cost. For the Ottomans, victory seemed within reach, as their vast numbers and superior firepower gradually began to wear down the Safavid defences. Wave after wave of Ottoman infantry surged forward, their ranks bolstered by fresh reinforcements arriving from the rear. The Safavids, though valiant in their resistance, found themselves gradually pushed back under the relentless pressure of the Ottoman onslaught. Yet, for the Safavids, defeat was not an option. Inspired by the leadership of Shah Ismail I and fueled by a fierce sense of religious and national pride, they fought on with a tenacity that belied their numerical disadvantage. Despite being outnumbered, they launched daring counterattacks against the Ottomans, striking with precision and ferocity and inflicting heavy casualties upon their foes. As the sun reached its zenith in the sky, the heat of battle intensified, mirroring the intensity of the struggle unfolding upon the plains of Chaldiran. The air was thick with the acrid scent of gunpowder and the metallic tang of blood, as the combatants fought on with a grim determination that bordered on madness. Hour by hour, the battle raged on, the lines between friend and foe blurring amidst the chaos of combat. Ottoman and Safavid soldiers clashed in brutal hand-to-hand combat, their weapons gleaming in the harsh sunlight as they fought tooth and nail for control of the battlefield. But as the day wore on and exhaustion began to take its toll, the tide of battle slowly began to turn in favor of the Ottomans. With each passing hour, their numerical superiority became increasingly apparent, as wave after wave of fresh troops poured into the fray, overwhelming the beleaguered Safavid defenders. Despite their valiant efforts, however, the Safavid defenders could not withstand the relentless pressure of the Ottoman assault. Wave after wave of Ottoman infantry crashed against their defences, slowly but inexorably pushing them back towards the town of Chaldiran. In the end, sheer weight of numbers proved decisive, and as the sun began to set upon the blood-soaked plains, victory belonged to Sultan Selim and the Ottoman Empire. The Battle of Chaldiran had been a brutal and costly affair, exacting a heavy toll upon both sides. Yet, for the Ottomans, it represented a decisive triumph, solidifying their dominance over the Near East and laying the foundation for centuries of imperial expansion. For the Safavids, it was a bitter defeat, one that would haunt them for years to come and shape the course of their empire for generations. And for the soldiers who had fought and died upon the plains of Chaldiran, it was a testament to the brutal realities of war and the enduring spirit of those who wage it. The consequences of the Battle of Chaldiran reverberated throughout the Near East, leaving an indelible mark on the political and cultural landscape of the region. For the Safavid Empire, the defeat dealt a devastating blow, shaking the very foundations of their power and profoundly altering the course of their history. Shattered military prestige. The defeat at Chaldiran shattered the myth of invincibility that had surrounded the Safavid military. Despite their initial successes and the fervent zeal of their soldiers, the Safavids had been decisively defeated by the Ottomans on the battlefield. The loss of prestige and reputation undermined the Safavids' ability to project power and command respect among their rivals, leaving them vulnerable to internal dissent and external aggression. Weakened grip on power. In the wake of the defeat, the Safavid Empire found itself weakened and vulnerable. The loss of territory and resources, coupled with the erosion of military prestige, weakened the central authority of the Safavid state. Provinces and vassal states that had once pledged allegiance to Shah Ismail now began to question his leadership and assert their autonomy, further destabilizing the empire's already precarious hold on power. Internal strife and dissent. The defeat at Chaldiran exacerbated existing tensions within the Safavid Empire and fueled internal strife and dissent. Noble families and regional governors, emboldened by the Safavids' military setbacks, began to challenge Shah Ismail's authority and vie for control over the empire's resources and territories. Factionalism and infighting erupted at court, as rival factions jockeyed for influence and position, further weakening the Safavids' ability to govern effectively. Stalled expansionist ambitions. For Shah Ismail and the Safavid dynasty, the defeat at Chaldiran dealt a crippling blow to their ambitious plans for expansion and conquest. The dream of establishing a Shia Islamic empire stretching from Anatolia to Central Asia was shattered, as the Ottomans emerged as the dominant power in the region. The Safavids were forced to abandon their territorial ambitions and adopt a more defensive posture, focusing their efforts on consolidating their holdings and preserving what remained of their empire. Shift in regional power dynamics. The Battle of Chaldiran marked a significant shift in the balance of power in the Near East, with the Ottomans emerging as the preeminent force in the region. With their victory over the Safavids, the Ottomans solidified their control over Anatolia and expanded their influence into the Caucasus and Mesopotamia. The defeat at Chaldiran paved the way for Ottoman dominance in the Near East, shaping the geopolitical landscape of the region for centuries to come. Cultural and religious impact. The defeat at Chaldiran also had profound cultural and religious implications for the Safavid Empire. The Safavids, who had championed Twelver Shia Islam as their state religion, suffered a blow to their religious prestige, as their defeat at the hands of the Sunni Ottomans was seen as a sign of divine disfavor. The Safavids were forced to reassess their religious and ideological identity in the wake of the defeat, leading to a renewed emphasis on religious orthodoxy and a more cautious approach to religious expansionism. The Battle of Chaldiran was a watershed moment in the history of the Near East, with far-reaching consequences for the Safavid Empire and the wider region. The defeat at Chaldiran weakened the Safavids militarily, politically, and culturally, while strengthening the position of the Ottoman Empire as the dominant power in the Near East. The battle reshaped the geopolitical landscape of the region and left an enduring legacy that would shape the course of history for centuries to come. The victory at the Battle of Chaldiran represented a watershed moment for the Ottoman Empire, catapulting it to new heights of power and influence in the Near East. Sultan Selim I, basking in the glory of triumph, seized upon the momentum gained from Chaldiran to embark on a relentless campaign of expansion, further solidifying Ottoman dominance over the region and laying the groundwork for the empire's future greatness. Consolidation of power. The victory at Chaldiran served to consolidate the Ottoman Empire's control over vast territories stretching from Anatolia to the Balkans and beyond. With the defeat of their Safavid rivals, the Ottomans emerged as the undisputed hegemon of the Near East, exerting their influence over a diverse array of peoples and cultures. Sultan Selim wasted no time in asserting Ottoman authority over newly conquered territories, imposing Ottoman governance and administration upon conquered lands and integrating them into the imperial fold. Expansion into new territories. Buoyed by the success at Chaldiran, Sultan Selim set his sights on further expansion and conquest. In the years following the battle, the Ottoman Empire embarked on a series of military campaigns aimed at extending Ottoman dominion into new territories. From the Levant to Egypt and the Arabian Peninsula, Sultan Selim's armies swept across the region, bringing vast swathes of territory under Ottoman control and expanding the empire's borders to unprecedented levels. Annexation of strategic regions. One of the most significant outcomes of the victory at Chaldiran was the annexation of strategic regions that would prove crucial to the Ottoman Empire's future prosperity and power. With the conquest of Egypt, the Ottomans gained control over lucrative trade routes and access to valuable resources, further enriching the imperial coffers and enhancing Ottoman economic influence in the Mediterranean. Likewise, the annexation of the Levant solidified Ottoman control over key strategic positions and reinforced their ability to project power throughout the region. Consolidation of Islamic authority. In addition to territorial expansion, the victory at Chaldiran also bolstered the Ottoman Empire's stature as a preeminent Islamic power. Sultan Selim, eager to assert Ottoman leadership within the Muslim world, positioned himself as a champion of Sunni Islam, drawing upon the symbolism of the Ottoman victory over the Safavids to solidify his credentials as a defender of the faith. Under Selim's rule, the Ottoman Empire emerged as a center of Islamic authority and scholarship, attracting scholars, theologians, and pilgrims from across the Islamic world. Legacy of greatness. The victory at Chaldiran laid the foundations for the Ottoman Empire's future greatness, paving the way for centuries of imperial expansion, cultural flourishing, and geopolitical influence. Sultan Selim's triumph at Chaldiran served as a testament to Ottoman military prowess and strategic vision, inspiring future generations of Ottoman rulers to emulate his example and pursue the empire's imperial ambitions with vigor and determination. The Battle of Chaldiran also had profound implications for the broader Islamic world. It deepened the sectarian divide between Sunni and Shia Muslims, exacerbating tensions that would continue to simmer for centuries to come. It also reinforced the notion of jihad, or holy war, as a legitimate means of defending Islam against perceived threats, a concept that would shape the conduct of Muslim states and societies for generations.